What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we're heading into the gates of Thuricvod. And we're doing it with Temper today. So, Temper actually works really well on maps where enemies don't have a ton of splits or ways to basically change direction and redirect your attention repeatedly. So, despite most of the enemies on this map being resistant to fire, he actually does very well here, in my opinion. Of course, there are some traps that help very much, like the swinging mace. It's absolutely just ridiculous here. Besides BGH Ballista, you can bring BGH Arrow Walls on this map. They actually have some very strong effects, because I don't believe you have any Swifties here. So without Swifties, Arrow Walls can do a ton of damage to the large bosses. Swifties just require a bit more crowd control or ballistas to make sure that you hit him while he's merrily running his way towards your rift. Most of what we'll be using here are going to be physical traps. You can use some fire, it really doesn't matter that much. Regular arrow walls are okay, but you're probably better off using something like grinders. And all of that said, for our last trait, we're going to take Overachiever. If we take Overachiever, we'll be a bit stronger character-wise, which is a very strong advantage when you're single player. Basically because you're monopolizing the damage, but I think I'm going to go for making it rain. And otherwise, I think we're fine. So let's go ahead and jump in. Hope all of you guys had a ton of chuckles for April Fool's Day. If you guys even pay attention to anything like that. I usually like to see the stuff from all of the large publishers and game developers, as they usually put out some pretty ridiculous stuff. And Eureka, the studio that's making Fighting EX Layer, it tends to do a lot of actual public releases around April Fool's Day. That's when they initially actually announced that they were even working on Fighting EX Layer. Everybody thought it was an April Fool's joke, and then it happened. So, never a dull day in the world of video games. Guess it'd be a good idea to slow him here.
Not so much using them though. Like this here spot.
Okay. We should not have any enemies that are bosses or anything like that in the first few waves, so we don't need the BGH arrow walls up immediately, but we will want them up. And they will help with any hunters, as well as the eventual bosses that do come out. I was hoping he was actually dead and not just floating there wasting my time. Luckily he was. Alright.
Gotta keep the rip safe.
They will not reach the...
Of course, this would be the one boss that they don't really do much against. Just smash him. Smash him good. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Now we get to go and start building out over here. Just gonna try to save myself a bit of time. And then once I get a tiny bit of coin, we toss up a swinging mace, and the beginnings of that area should basically be good. Super good. Probably good until we start getting fire orcs and whatnot, or fire ogres.
They've broken through a gate.
And I didn't deal with these guys fast enough. Let me let the Guardian do the rest. Alright. Let me just do this now before I have to worry about it later. And then we'll hop over to the other side, do something similar.
Watch out! Our enemies have broken through again. Gotta do something to keep them out. I hope no one gets hurt.
Already on the way.
It must be destroyed. Well done. The unstable rift has been destroyed.
Underestimate my own strength, I guess.
And here we're always going to choose Rage Machine. For me, it just seems like the easiest choice to make with Temper. Allows you to conserve your rage, turn that into basically banked health through Happy Place, and it gives you a small mobility increase if you're not using anything else. But for whatever reason, Happy Place doesn't seem to stack with anything else's speed boost. So if anything, that's probably a detriment to Temper overall. The fact that, I don't know if it's Happy Place being bugged or it just not being a multiplicative speed increase, but doesn't behave the way that I would expect it would comparatively with every other speed increase in the game, which does make you wonder. Like, I wonder if it was an issue with the way it was coded, or maybe something in the programming I'm unaware of.
Everyone be careful. This spot looks mighty fine. They've broken through a gate.
Alright. So they're gonna come through here, charging eventually. The main reason why arrow walls can be a good choice on this map is because these rear walls back here would be very useful were I to have arrow walls on them. And you'll see if you look at any of my videos for a lot of my other characters that I tend to use arrow walls instead of grinders or wall blades when trapping up this map, just because their reach is extremely convenient. We're gonna go with hammered because that extra damage is very nice. Also allows you to snipe unstable rifts, which is great. Alright. Believe I have to stay here for the next boss.
Beware, intruder.
Oh nope, I was wrong.
Watch out! An unstable
Ooh, that's
rift
just
is open.
unfortunate.
Get to it and destroy it.
There we go.
Destroy the unstable rift.
Okay, so those
Our barricades are under
Bernie
attack.
dudes up front are going to wreck that first barricade that I have in there.
They've destroyed our barricades.
That's what I expected. So we're just going to happiness ourselves back over there.
A babbling brook.
That should have thrown in the air. You know, since the most recent patch, I've noticed, like,
They've destroyed our barricades.
didn't expect that one to get blown up. Some weird inconsistencies with me trying to activate skills mid-air. And I'm not sure why.
Enemies incoming. They've broken through on another front.
Although it could just be like my mouse or something. It's kicking the bucket, which is a shame because I like this mouse. And I haven't had it that long.
They've broken through a gate.
Alright, we're just gonna miss you completely and uppercut you in the butt. So even though the fire doesn't do a ton of damage from the firewall bracers, it will get you extra combo points, which results in more damage. Sorry, not more damage, more coin. More coin more Unchained meter, all that good stuff that you like.
Why can't everyone just be friends?
The rift will be protected.
And with that, really not much else to do here.
I hope no one gets hurt.
These guys coming down here, you could set up some spikes, floor scorchers and the like, and have that pointed down this hallway. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but at the same time, not something that's really mandatory. It will help, as always dealing more damage is going to benefit you greatly, but not necessarily the best way to spend the coin, just because it's relatively easy for a hero to hold a choke point back here. This is probably the easiest place for you to survive. The lack of footing and the 3 lanes up here make this area significantly more difficult to actually hold long term. Oh, 3 grand on a hammer toss? Not bad. And that was to more than one enemy, so that wasn't even the triple damage. Alright, let's go ahead and start shoring this up a bit more.
They've summoned the boss minion. Trap everywhere, trap. Like this here spot. Gotta do something to keep them out.
Oh.
The enemy's boss is dead.
Destroy it.
Meant the happy place, not charge, but
Our barricades are under
same
attack.
idea kind of worked out. Nice, managed to get 7. That's what I mean. The extra gear there is pretty much a universal combo booster for any character that has the
Gotta keep the
resources
rift
to support
safe.
them.
Spot looks mighty fine. This'll protect our rift.
Alright, let's just get these
I
guys up.
always liked making trap
I think
arts.
that I missed a
Not
bit of
so much
space.
using them, though.
I'll fix that after these guys back
Just
here
gotta
die.
clear my head right quick.
Just prance my way over here. They're mostly done. He's just taking his time killing them. Could use one of these up here too. Alright. Let you finish that off. Mr. Chicken Thrower. Wait, is it? What is the... Oh, he's getting flipped on the floor scorchers. And that's exactly why I would like arrow walls back there. That alone may probably cost me par. There we go. There we go. Alright, managed to catch the cell just in time as well.
That looks like it could hurt somebody.
Didn't even mean to make that rhyme. It just happened. What do we have going on back here now? More people wasting my time? Probably. Get the lightning ring and the firewall. Combos for everyone. Everybody gets at least a 2-piece and a biscuit. Where's the rest of the enemies?
They will not reach the rift.
There we go. Now this is the earth elemental part.
A boss is on its way.
So arrow walls never seem to ever work well against earth elementals for me. Mainly because of, I guess, the short size.
In this town. That's it.
Nope. Jab all the little ones. Whoa. Cannot afford to let these ragamuffins through. There we go. Oh no. Yeah, see, I'm right clicking. And he's just not throwing that hammer. Like I did it about 2 or 3 times when it wasn't on cooldown.
I guard the rift.
Yeah, probably have to check into this mouse. Always with the mice problems. Alright, so everybody's coming out of the back, and we got
Unstable rift is opening.
you.
Quick, destroy it.
Nice. One more. Where you at? There we go.
Unstable rift is opening. Destroy it.
Not enough rage to insta-kill that one.
And our heroes destroyed the unstable rift. And there was much rejoicing.
So that difference in rage consumed and damage probably is much more prevalent in that specific example than I've ever been able to show it off before. Basically, the hammer throw will deal much more damage based on exactly how much rage you have when you do it. And the amount it consumes seem to be somewhat variable as well. Nice. He actually died from fire damage, I believe. Alright. Need you guys to just die. Alright, there we go. And I'm not going to be able to finish this last wave in 40 seconds, so we're probably going to miss part here. And this isn't a particularly hard wave. It was just that situation with me trying to catch the cell on that misplaced swing mace, and that heavy fire fiend who was in the rear just having a field day on the floor scorcher trampolines. Cost me all the time I would have needed to actually 5-star this. Alright. Most of the guys on the left and the right are just going to die to the swinging maces. There's really nothing difficult to deal with there. The second barricade is placed at the bottom, specifically with the purpose of luring out the fire fiends that would have been through here. And because this is the end, we can just wreck these guys. And there we go.
I can stop hitting people now, right?
Just shy of a 5-star. Oh, I actually did a lot of the damage there myself. Perhaps didn't really do quite that much. I can't think that maybe the arrow walls probably would have been a better choice than the grinders there. I didn't really line the upper walls with grinders, which would have helped. Let the swinging maces do most of the work. So I don't know. Maybe I still need to tweak the setup for that that particular map a little bit. See if we can do better. But next we will be on to the Temple Graveyard. Temple Graveyard is an interesting map just due to the randomness with which the unstable rifts can spawn. They actually have quite a number of different places back here, up here, and back here. So you never quite know exactly where you're going to be rushing off to when the unstable rifts spawn, and that actually makes this a very tricky map in some cases, especially for somebody without super high mobility like Temper. So we'll be getting into that for the next video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there's anything that you'd like to say to me, any comments about the video, game itself, or just other stuff that I might be doing or have done, feel free to drop that beneath the video description, and I'll get back to you guys whenever I have the opportunity. Either way, thanks as always for following. I hope you guys are doing great, and until next time, as always, have a good one, folks.